Good afternoon, scholars, and welcome back to the Restricted Collection, a podcast about tabletop games. I'm your host, the head librarian, Chad, and today we have another Arkham Horror episode that's in line with the previous newspaper episodes where I'm kind of just looking at something for the sake of posterity. So if that's something you're interested in, great, stick around, and we're going to talk about The Road to Innsmouth. So with a copyright date of 2022, Arkham Horror The Road to Innsmouth is kind of like an escape room. At the time, you could have just played it digitally, but I was like, oh, that's neat, and I picked up a copy, which has like physical components. It was the deluxe edition, which, you could play not only the escape room part of it, but also have like the physical components as opposed to just looking at digital versions of the physical components. So, it's 1 to 4 players, 120 minutes, ages 14 and up. The Road to Innsmouth begins here. Help Stella Clark survive the haunting cobblestone streets of Innsmouth and make it alive to her mysterious meeting. Use the collectible physical artifacts for an augmented point-and-click escape experience. Crack the clues, solve the ciphers, and uncover the horror that lies waiting at Innsmouth in this deluxe immersive adventure. Starring Persephone Valentine as the voice of Stella Clark. So why am I talking about this? I stumbled on Reddit that the company that made this no longer exists. Which means the website, and the website is no longer owned by them and is just free-floating. And because this is a system where you had to enter in a code, like I have codes that came with my copy of it, for me to be like, yeah, look, I already paid for it, let me play the game, and yeah, they're defunct now, so you can't play it. And that kind of broke my heart a little bit, because it's just like, oh, I've been sitting on this for a while, like, kind of waiting for the right time to play this. So, as I said, this is going to be kind of like the newspaper episodes. I'm going to just talk about what's included in this, because I think the time and effort and whatnot, that the lore that is kind of here is neat, and I want to share that. So, yeah, we're going to ignore we're going to ignore whatever the actual puzzle of the escape room is, because I can't play it. So there are a number of things that come with the deluxe version of this, which, heck, if you're interested in any of this, you might be able to find real cheap, since you can't play the game anymore. But something that I noticed looking through everything is that a number of the items are stamped or otherwise have the symbol of a pentagon on it, and then a dot to a number of dots from 1 to 5. So to start, let's talk about the dotted items. So the first item I have in hand is a key to the Gilman House Hotel. The key itself is kind of like a cheaper plastic, but the Gilman House hotel tab, which has the pentagon on it, is a stiffer, firmer plastic. Here is the sound of it against the against the metal pole of my mic stand, if that gives you an idea of the plastic. It's a nice green Gilman House Hotel with a nice emblem on it, and the back of it has that 1920s Art Deco styling. It's not actually Art Deco, but it's got some design on it that's reminiscent of Art Deco. Honestly, I might take the kind of crappy plastic off of the the key part of it off and actually put this on a real keychain, because it could work. It's a little big. I'd say it's easily 3 inches long and 2 inches wide, maybe. Yeah, but it's a nice key fob, if that's something that's of interest. And it's the Gilman House. Everyone always stops at the Gilman House when you're in Innsmouth. Next, we have a little Cthulhu statue. It's plastic. I don't think it's hollow. It's not hefty in the sense of like, oh, it's got weight to it, but it's heavier than hollow. I can tell you that for sure. But it's a little like brown tan Cthulhu statue. It has on the front of it a diamond, which is split up into 4 sections, and the top one is indented when the others are not, and the pentagon with the 2 dots is in the bottom, the base of it. But the figure itself is like a good 4 inches tall. The base is like 1.5 inches around. It's a nice little like I'm not sad about like the physical trinkets. The third thing is a metal coin that's at least 1 inch in diameter. The front of it has a like deep one or Cthulhu-esque face. It honestly reminds me more of Dagon of anything than like straight Cthulhu, due to the ridging and like the flares on the side of it. It has like the tentacly face, but the rest of it is definitely more reading Dagon to me, given FFG's portrayal of Dagon. Around the front of it, so we're going to call that the head's side. The head side of this coin, or this metal disc, has a bunch of little divots, and then there's some like diamonds in some of those, which I'm assuming I can put this inside of a circular thing and decode something with. I don't know. I can't play the game. On the back side, there are various letters is not the right word. There's a script that they have that actually, in retrospect, I might be able to decipher. Give me a minute. Okay, so I'm back. So the back of the coin, if I have translated it properly, let's get some fun out of this still, translates to count of the sides, SIDES. On the back of it in the middle, so on kind of breaking the lettering on the side is the pentagon with the 3 dots, and that connects to it going towards the center, an octagon, a circle, a hexagon, and a square, all of which are just kind of, they don't have anything in the they're just flat. There's no texture to them. So count of the sides, I'm assuming that letter, there's one letter that I wasn't able to decipher that I believe to be a U. Count, CO ?NT of the sides. But I don't know counting the sides. 5 plus 8 is 13. Circles have 1 side, so 14 plus so 24 total between the hexagon. Yeah, so 24 total. I don't know what that does me. I'm sure I'd probably have to enter it into the game. How did I figure out what the sides say? Well, I got that information from the item that has the pentagon marked with 4 dots. It on one side says the Esoteric Order of Dagon lifetime membership, and it has a very similar, not exactly the same, but a very similar face to the center of the coin, which makes sense to me if that's supposed to be Dagon, like I said. On the bottom of it, it has the pentagon, the 4 dots. On the flip side, it's exactly the same, a little less artsy. That's actually something I didn't notice before. We'll get to that. But it's a little less artsy than the front side, but it still has Dagon looking at the top in a little circle. It still has the pentagon with the 4 dots, and it has just a bunch of script. It turns out that script is the same as the Esoteric Order of Dagon lifetime membership, which is how I was able to decipher what the back of the coin said. Something I had not noticed before is that the front side, the English side, there are these little arrows coming off of it at various places. There are 5 of these arrows coming off, and I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming you can put this maybe this goes on the map, and like you can point it at things on the map. We'll get to the map. But, we've got, oh yeah, maybe that's what the coin dots are for too. The coin front side has those diamonds on some of the notches. Maybe that's maybe those are what those are used for. The last thing that has a pentagon on it is, and this is the number 5 pentagon, is a bookmark for the little bookshop. It's a nice crimson red with gold gold for the accents and whatnot. It's a nice bookmark. This could be solidly used as a bookmark. On the back side, it has a picture of a very European style dragon with an arrow to the right, like a columns and like a structure that you would see for like a bank or like a courthouse, with an arrow to the left. Did I say dragon to the right, courthouse to the left, a skull with an arrow pointing to the right, a magnifying glass with an arrow pointing to the right, and a quill and ink pot with an arrow pointing to the left. So let's get to the things that aren't labeled with an obvious pentagon. I've got a ticket with the Innsmouth bus service. It has holes punched in it. So based off of the holes, this is an adult ticket for the Innsmouth bus service. That is a one-way trip for October 13th, no year given, for a PM trip at 4 o'clock sharp. I assume that the punch between the 3 and the 4, it's definitely favoring the 4. But yeah, good for one continuous trip in one general direction. Punch below after use, which it has been punched. On the back side of it, written as in such a way as the punch holes do not interfere with this, are just some words. But they're not like they seem to be jumbled up. I don't have a good way of deciphering them yet. I don't know if I will with the given information, but there's like some jumble of word dash another jumble of word. Interesting that there are, it'll be like let's just say there's like word A, then word B. So word A dash word B. The next line will be word B dash word C. The next line will be word C dash word D, and so on and so forth for most of this. A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. It stops at, so it goes H word dash I, and then it does something different. It goes to a different word dash another word, and then that continues the trend, which is interesting. And then at the bottom, there's another pairing that does not match anywhere. Peculiar. I have a postcard. Innsmouth, Massachusetts. Dive in and go for a swim. It has a woman in very 1920s swimming attire on the beach. There's a lighthouse, very hard to tell in the background. She's wearing a swimming cap and a swimsuit. She's from Innsmouth. She's got the bigger eyes, the wider mouth, and oh hey, are those gills on her neck? The backside of the postcard is predominantly blank. There you could feasibly write on this and send it in the mail, like it's a nice cardstock. But that said, in the corner where the stamp would be, there is it's not actually like it's printed on there, but like it's where it should be, but it's got like the edging around it like it was a stamp. It is a purple stamp with some mushrooms on the background. It's a big number 4, and then underneath it, it says 8 pounds fertilizer, 13 pounds spore nutrient, 7 pounds a hominid bone, 5 pounds enriched water, and at the very bottom it says Yuggoth mushroom. Okay. Moving to the second largest thing, there is a poster for Arkham Horror: The Road to Innsmouth. Interesting that this has a copyright for 2021. Yeah, it's just a nice poster of the art of like Cthulhu. It's definitely giving the outline of the big skull and eyes, or the big head and eyes. It's definitely giving more of Cthulhu vibes. You can look the picture of this up online if you're interested. It's in front of a lighthouse with stars around it. The Road to Innsmouth. The interesting thing is if you flip it over, it's basically the same picture, except for just sepia tone. And then there are doesn't say Arkham Horror, doesn't say Road to Innsmouth. Instead, it has various letters on it. Now, the weird thing is these aren't the same letters that were on the back of the Esoteric Order of Dagon card. These are different letters that are written over the stars that were put around the lighthouse. And at the bottom, there are pairings of symbols with each other, and the symbols are from the circle of stars around the lighthouse. I don't really know what to do with that with the given information currently. And again, I probably can't do much without the app or the digital part of this. Lastly, there's a pretty big map of Innsmouth. Like, this is nice. It has 15 different markers on it, so like there's just like a red circle with a number on it marking it, but it's a map of Innsmouth, Massachusetts. While we're here, let me see if I can put this card down somewhere and see if the arrows point to anywhere nicely. No, that doesn't work. I'm sure this is riveting to listen to. Yeah, it's not immediately coming to me. And same thing with the coin. There's not an obvious place to put this coin to have the arrows or the little diamonds on the edges of it match up to anything. But it's a nice map of Innsmouth. Around the edge, there are some depictions of some various animals and creatures like spiders, crabs, wolves, owls, octopuses, snakes, if I didn't say snakes already. I think that's everything. I'm not sure there's a pattern to those, but they're there. The back side of it, how do I put this? The back side is like a tannish color, like you'd have for like an older parchment or worn parchment. There's a bunch of red marks that I don't know what to do with, mostly around the border of it. I can't tell if the splotching is paint or blood. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's these. It's as if there were. It's basically as if a sigil was drawn on this, but I'm missing most of the sigil. Like the center of the sigil is empty. Then I've got like some of the border, but most of the border is gone. And then in addition to that, there are some like shapes, and it's almost like here's like a box that's randomly drawn, and then a line with an arrow to a circle. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know what you want me to do with that. There's a lot of these little like arrow to circle things going on here, but if it relates to anything, well, okay, the coin kind of fits in the circle. Does the Esoteric Order of Dagon card kind of fit in that rectangular shape? Okay, maybe that's where you'd have to go with this, but what information that's getting you, because the circles don't seem to relate to the points of interest on the front side immediately. Yeah, what you're supposed to do with it, I'm not sure. But why am I talking about this? Honestly, it's partly I'm a little sad that I don't get to actually play this. I know I had years that I could have played this, but I didn't. That said, I still think I'm gonna keep this. Like the trinkets, the little physical items that come with it, they're nothing super special, but they're nice. And just same thing with the newspapers, just the time and effort to make these and to build on the lore and to just flesh it out into, yeah, what is this weird little statue and what does it do? What is this weird little coin? What does it do? And it's letting you interact with the lore in a way that, frankly, Arkham Horror, the card game, isn't really set up to do well. I know Eldritch Horror had its cipher puzzles in its big box expansions. I mean, it's very easy to miss, but every single big box expansion had a cipher in it. And just like, yeah, just building up the mystery, world building a little bit, leaving these little these little Easter eggs of clues to pick up and, see what you can put together with. So, again, I hope you found this neat. I think this is neat. I'm sad that I won't get to play this. That's a problem with pairing physical media and digital media. I know that there are some people, especially on like the forums where I discovered this, who were griping about, this is why I won't ever play a board game with the digital component because it goes out of support or this, that, or the other thing. And I'm just like, I get that it might be more fleeting and you might miss the chance to play it, but it's giving you an experience you couldn't have otherwise easily gotten. I'm, again, sad that I won't get to experience this. And with that, I'm going to put this entry back on the shelf. Too long out and, well, you lose the digital component. I've been your host, the head librarian, Chad. If you want to get in contact with me about anything I've said, feel free to reach out to me at therestrictedcollection@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can find me around as head librarian Chad on Discord and whatnot. Thanks for listening.